2,000 years ago, a Roman emperor named Marcus Aurelius wrote in his personal journal, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." He wasn't talking about war, he was talking about marriage. About how his wife's criticism triggered his anger, and how he learned to respond with virtue instead of venom. Today, we're going to discover how ancient Stoic wisdom can transform your most important relationships, starting with a simple practice that takes just 5 seconds but can save your marriage. The challenge. Here's the brutal truth about relationships. They test us in ways nothing else can. Your partner can push buttons you didn't even know you had. Think about your own relationship for a moment. When was the last time you lost your patience? When you tried to control something about your partner that was completely out of your control? When you made assumptions instead of asking questions? These aren't character flaws, they're human nature. But the Stoics discovered something profound. We don't have to be victims of our human nature. We can choose a different way. Marcus Aurelius, while dealing with his own relationship challenges, wrote, "How much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does." This isn't about ignoring your partner. It's about not making their actions the source of your emotional state. Let me tell you about Alex and Jordan, a couple who discovered this principle the hard way. They'd been together 5 years. On paper, they had everything: shared values, common goals, genuine love for each other. But they were stuck in a pattern that was slowly poisoning their relationship. Jordan was chronically late. Not fashionably late, chronically, frustratingly, relationship-damaging late. On their anniversary, Alex sat in that restaurant for 45 minutes, watching other couples enjoy their evening while building a case for why this relationship was doomed. When Jordan finally arrived looking genuinely frazzled from a work crisis, Alex exploded with 5 years of accumulated resentment. "You're selfish and inconsiderate. You always do this." Sound familiar? But what if Alex had known about the Stoic pause? Viktor Frankl, inspired by Stoic philosophy, discovered this in a concentration camp. This space, this pause, is where transformation lives. It's where we move from being reactive victims to conscious creators of our relationships. If you're ready to stop being controlled by circumstances and start controlling your responses like a Roman emperor, hit that subscribe button. We're building an army of modern Stoics, and every subscriber helps us spread these life-changing principles to people who desperately need them. The foundation of Stoic relationships is this simple but revolutionary principle, the dichotomy of control. What Alex could control. On the right, what Alex couldn't control. Here's what's fascinating. We spend 90% of our relationship energy trying to control the right column, and only 10% working on the left column. The Stoics discovered that this ratio should be completely reversed. You cannot make your partner more punctual by getting angry. You cannot make them more affectionate by withholding affection. You cannot change their past or control their future. But you have complete sovereignty over your response, your words, your actions, and your character. So what happened when Alex learned this principle? Instead of exploding, Alex took a breath and made a conscious choice. This is the Stoic pause in action. Not suppression, transformation. Not denial, conscious choice. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Alex found that strength, and it changed everything. The Stoics organized all human excellence into 4 cardinal virtues, and each one transforms how we love. Wisdom, understanding what you can and cannot control. Asking curious questions instead of making assumptions. Courage, Having those difficult conversations with love instead of avoiding them or having them with anger. Justice. Treating your partner with fairness and respect, especially when you don't feel like it. Temperance. Practicing patience and emotional regulation. Responding, not reacting. These aren't just philosophical concepts, they're practical tools for building the relationship you actually want. Here's how Alex and Jordan's story ended. Instead of an anniversary fight that would be remembered for years, Alex chose virtue. Notice what happened. No attack, no defense, no drama. Just two people solving a problem together. That's what happens when one person chooses to respond with virtue instead of reacting from pain. Here are 5 daily practices that will revolutionize your relationships. Morning reflection. Start each day asking, how can I respond with virtue today? This sets your intention. The pause practice. When triggered, count to 5. This creates space for wisdom instead of reaction. Evening review. End each day asking, what did I control well? What can I improve? This builds self-awareness. Gratitude focus. Daily appreciation prevents you from taking your partner for granted. Assumption. Check. When you're upset, ask, what story am I telling myself? Often, it's just a story. These aren't complicated, they're simple practices that compound into relationship transformation. Now I want to give you something practical. A 7-day Stoic relationship challenge that will transform how you connect with the people you love most. Each day focuses on one key principle. By the end of the week, you'll have a complete toolkit for navigating any relationship challenge with wisdom instead of reactivity. Day 1. Practice the pause. Master the space between trigger and response. Day 2. Focus on what you control. Stop wasting energy on the unchangeable. Day 3. Choose curiosity over judgment. Understand before seeking to be understood. Day 4. Express gratitude daily. Appreciate what's already beautiful. Day 5. Communicate with virtue. Let wisdom guide your words. Day 6. Practice emotional regulation. Feel without being controlled by feelings. Day 7. Reflect and commit. Make this transformation permanent. If you're finding these ancient wisdom principles valuable for your modern life, I'd be grateful if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Every subscription helps us reach more people who are ready to transform stress into strength and chaos into calm. We're building a community of modern Stoics who refuse to be controlled by circumstances, and we'd love to have you as part of it.